Good morning, welcome to our live talk program. This is Lord here, your host on Revive Reform Radio, doing our live talk program covering motivation on your Monday morning rise and shine. And this Monday morning here, we're looking at the topic "Be entertained and bedazzled by the real." So be entertained and bedazzled by the real. So what we're looking at here this morning as we look at motivation for your success in this life and for eternity. Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, we thank thee again for the blessings of this day, for the blessings of your word. Pray for your guidance, dear Lord, as I look at these things and share with all those that are here. May you be with us, dear Father, and continue to be our guide in all things for Christ's sake. Amen. So here I'm sharing with you here this thought, be entertained and bedazzled by the real. By the real. What is real? And this will make you just a better person the more you are entertained by the real. So the thought here is that nature, knowledge, gospel, real activity, and so forth are what we are to be entertained by. And this will help us to develop strong characters, broad thinking, and perfect symmetry. So when we learn to pull away from the entertainment of this world, the things that will bedazzle us, make us wow, and get excited, and from the fake entertainment, and we go to what is real, what God created us to be entertained by. All it does, and more, is to develop strong characters, broaden our thinking, and make us have perfect symmetry. And so this is what we want to have. So the sad reality is that many can't be happy without fake entertainment or without what is fake, period. So just fake. Everything has to be fake. And we're going to talk about that this morning here with you. If things are not fake, a person can't be happy. They can't be have joy inside of them, and their life is spent around imaginary things that make them happy. And I know what I'm talking about because I was there. So in Psalms 101, verse 2 through 5, Psalms 101, verse 2 through 5, it says here, I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. O when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. A froward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Whoso privily slander his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. So beautiful thought here, Psalms 101, just a beautiful thought, and something that we have to live by. The more we live by it, the more our life is at peace. Many a times, the peace that we often lose can come from an outside source. Sometimes we take away our own peace, but many a time, others take away our peace. And most of what we talk about as entertainment is described here, as he says, a froward heart shall depart from me. When people are forward, they don't like to come around you if you're righteous. And I will not know a wicked person. A person that is wicked, stay away from me. And that's a good thing. When you live by this principle, you just eliminate a lot of problems in your life. When you don't have a lot of wicked people around you and people that are forward, that means they're in your face, they're rude, they like to propose things that are sick and immoral. Okay, stay away. You find the troubles that many people go through in life, the problems that they have is they bring forward people and wicked people around them. Notice, whoso privately slander his neighbor. Somebody that go around and, say bad things about his neighbor. I always say that it's important that when a person brings something to you about their neighbor, privately slander, say something that is not right, and false about their neighbor, and just create all kind of problems. You got to be able to cut that down. That's not good. Notice here again, it says, him will I cut off. Him that had an high look, full of themselves and proud heart, will I not suffer. Can't suffer certain people, Over the years I've learned that it's a waste of time to be suffering people who have a proud look and a high look and a proud heart. Got to remove them. And so by doing this, what you're doing, you start to remove the people that are near you. But as you think about a text like this, you start to realize real quickly that the whole idea of most of what we call entertainment is people faking a reality. The songs that people sing, the movies that they create, they're creating a fake reality. And often they're creating a fake reality to catch unsuspecting people. If you look at a lot of the Me Too issues, Me Too movement, it is based around this idea here. Because the person create a persona in the movies what they're not, so that they can get people to have sex with them and all kind of stuff like that. So the Bible said, look, you don't want to be around all this fakeness and these fake people, because out of what we call pride is a person embellishing and selling more than what they are, so that they can catch simple people. So here, he says, I'll be of myself wisely and perfectly. And he says that he will do this in a perfect heart. And I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. This is again a clear statement. It's important. What is it that we are bedazzled by? What is it that we are entertained by? And if we are entertained by evil or wickedness, then we become numb to evil and wickedness. And it is easy for us to carry out those acts or to endorse those who carry out that act, or can't say anything wrong with people carrying out certain evil acts. But he says, I hate the works of them that turn aside. If you really look at a lot of the entertainment industry, you quickly find out that many of these people once went to church. Many of them backslidden, left the church, turned their back against God so they can make entertainment become their God, so they can be famous, rich, or rich and famous. So he simply says, I hate the works of them, their music, their movies, their whatever art they produce, because they turn aside. And they shall not cleave unto me, because that stuff can cleave unto you. Next thing you know, you're a fan. And what makes you happy is fake, because they're fake. Now I'm going to read a quotation here that is fascinating in itself and inspiring and encouraging for what we ought to be and what we ought to avoid. And it is written by Ellen G. White, and it's taken from the book 4 Testimonies 581. 4 Testimonies 581, page 581, paragraph 2. And it says, if the frivolous and pleasure-seeking will allow their mind to dwell upon the real and true, the heart cannot but be filled with reverence, and they will adore the God of nature. And I'm going to skip part of that. I'm going to go to another part of the quote in a second. But I want you to just grab that in your mind. So you heard it one time, so I'm going to read it again, a second time. If the frivolous and pleasure-seeking, the Bible tells us in the last days, men be lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. So if the frivolous and pleasure-seeking will allow their mind to dwell upon the real and true, so nature is real and the Bible is truth, and nature is true also, the heart cannot but be filled with reverence, and they will adore the God of nature. You show me a person that is irreverent and can't even sit around in church for a little bit and they act a certain way and they're filled with all kind of attitude, it's because that's the whole life. All the entertainment, the things that they are entertained by, is just simply irreverent stuff. Fake stuff, fake attitude. Can't humble himself because, when you're fake and proud, you can't be humble. And they will simply just be able to adore the God of nature. Continue reading a little bit more down in that paragraph. It says, we may read the character of the Creator in the heavens above and the earth beneath, filling the heart with gratitude and thanksgiving. Every nerve and sense will respond to the expression of God's love in his marvelous works. Satan invents earthly allurements that the carnal mind may be placed on those things which cannot elevate and refine and ennoble. It its powers are thus dwarfed and crippled, and men and women who might attain to perfection of character become narrow, weak, and defective. This you can see in our society, all over society. Men and women who could have become powerful men and women who could have attained great things just become shipwrecked and waste in life because everything that makes them happy are things that dwarf their sensibilities, make them become defective, make their minds become narrow and weak. And when I look at this, I look at this is really where the problem is. It is what we're entertained and bedazzled by. And everything that we become entertained is the bedazzled by is fake. And the more fake we have in our life, is the more our mind become narrow, our minds become weak, and our character becomes defective. If you notice here, is that the marvelous works of nature will make our mind become broadened in its thinking. Fake people don't like nature because you have to just sit there and relax and take it in. And so the more fake we go is the more we go from nature and go from what is natural and what is real. And we want the fake. So if you think about this now, and let me see if I can broaden this thought now with you, is think about what I read so far. And this idea of being entertained and bedazzled by the real, be impressed by the real, not be impressed by what is fake. So the real would be, again, all the various different aspects of nature and so forth. So let's look at a few things here. You think about it, if our entertainment, what makes us entertained or happy or amused is fake, then our brain after a while can't be happy, or we as a person can't be happy or can't be satisfied with anything unless it's fake. So you have theatrics in its various different form, from your simple cartoon to your blockbuster movies to theater in the theater district. You have fictional books that are just fake, and the person become lost in a fake world, and the fake world all of a sudden starts sounding real to them, especially when you hear them talk, and you realize they're fake. And all of a sudden, they have a lot of information. Just think about it. A person read, say, one book a month. Let's just say that. The person read one book every month. And you say, man, that's a lot of reading. And they have, after a few years, after 10 years, they have 120 books that they've read. Now, at 120 books, they would be educated if they were imagine if they just had 120 books reading about plants or about anatomy and health. After 10 years, you would say that they've attained to a lot of knowledge on subjects to do with, say, the anatomy and how the body works naturally. But now, after 10 years, they have read 10 books about nothing. And have nothing to do with reality. Would their mind expand? No. There's a lot of time spent gaining knowledge about nothing, about imaginary things that never will result in anything. Are this person going to be better with life or better with relationships? No. Because that's 10 years of 120 books if they did one book a month for 10 years. That is not going to make them better at relationships. They're going to be worse because their idea of what relationships are is an embellishment and fakery. And when you look at that, that's where, when we're bedazzled by things that are not real, we become weak and we have inability to function in real life. And then we can't be happy because our idea of what constitutes happiness is all fake. So we could be experiencing something that should make us happy, but we can't be happy because our concepts of happiness have become morphed and become weird. So that's why you hear people doing these weird things. You're just like, why are they doing all these weird things? Because what is natural and what is created by God and is natural to keep a person happy, it can't make them be happy anymore because they have a false idea of what happiness constitutes. They have false expectation, in other words. And when you have a false expectation, you have wrong placement of what is bad and what is good. Notice here again, people who are entertained by drugs, alcohol, or other stimulants. They could go to an environment or do something that is should make them happy, but they can't be happy unless the drug or the stimulant is inside of their bodies. So what is real? Because stimulants are just basically faking, tricking your brain into thinking you're happy or thinking you're having a high time. So a person could be doing something that a lot of people would find as happy, and if without drugs or alcohol in the system, they can't be happy. So they're dependent upon fake and to be tricked and to be deceived into thinking they're happy in order to be happy. So this again is part of the fake. Just think about so many people who go to church and they go to church to have a fake worship service and a fake religion. They have a high time in the Lord, but they're not really having a high time. They're faking having a high time. It's a fake high time. It's not a true high time. They're not truly being filled with Spirit. They're faking being filled with the Spirit. And they're jumping up and down, they're high. But if you say, well, a person is filled with the Spirit, have the fruit of the Spirit. And where there's no fruit, then there's no evidence that there's a Spirit. But a person comes and says, no, but I was filled with the Spirit. How you know? Oh, I was just jumping around and going crazy. Wow. And you can show me one experience in the Bible that somebody was in the Spirit and jumping around? No. But that's what they tell me. I go to church, I'm filled with the Spirit. So notice here, that's a fake idea of what an experience is, a true experience. Also, a person can have a fake gospel. The gospel they believe in is a gospel that will never change their heart because it's fake. A fake gospel tells you that it's all God and it's nothing that you will do. You never have to comply. You never have to do anything. No matter what you do, you're saved. And that's a fake gospel. So when you heart is entertained and bedazzled by what is fake, people believe in a lot of false doctrines. And so they're studying and digging deep and getting excited over falsehood. And they'll be like, man, this is good stuff. And you'll be like, you're getting excited over falsehood. And that just dwarfs the mind because you spend all the time again. Think about it, the person who's watching, I read those 12 a year fictional books and really dig into them and get excited over the authors is the same as a person who go to church and study a false gospel or false doctrines and digging into it and eating up and getting excited over the people who taught the false doctrine, only to realize it's all fake. And that's why we can't go down that road, because what that does is dwarf the mind, because all those years spent in folly and foolishness does not make the person a better individual, does not add any value to their life because they study nothing. Just imagine you study, it just go poof. It went poof before you even went and studied. And now that you've studied it and you become a master of nothing, all you have is just nothing in your life. Your brain power has been wasted on nothing. And you've dig deep into nothing. So fake gospel and fake doctrine is what many people do. Because remember, all knowledge is entertaining. Because our brain likes to be fed. And when it's fed, a sensory glands goes off and we feel high. We get a high from being taught. When that light bulb goes off in our minds. Fake food, just imagine so many people are clamoring to eat genetically engineered food, clamoring to eat all this fake, highly manufactured food that is denatured and just dead and killed and burnt and cooked and fried a million times and then reheated and then given to a person to eat so they can become, they can blow up and become, obese, morbidly obese. And this is what it is. And so the brain is trained, the taste bud is trained for fake. So you give the person and say, here's a leaf of lettuce, here's some collard greens, and the person start gagging because they're not trained to partake of the real. So the body physically becomes weakened. They physically become weak because the substance or the substance that they're partaking of is denatured and dead and being fried and cooked and burnt and chiseled and beaten and whipped 1,000 times before they finally get in their plates. So just partaking of nothing and being entertained, and a person saying, when I look forward to a good plate of food, I'm looking forward to some hormone filled, chemical filled, deranged cow chopped up and slabbed up and dropped on my plate, and now I'm eating that deranged cow and I'm going crazy. And I don't know why. Because that's the fakeness that they're feeding on. Fake music. You think about the best music. It's just about this some person fake idea of what is happiness. Think about it. Some person that can't maintain a relationship, that they're worthless, that they live in a depressed life. Soon they're going to be shooting themselves in the head. And you're being entertained by this person's idea of what is happiness. And this is why I notice every time there's a bankruptcy or it's revealed that the person is broke and they're suing their managers because they don't know how to add. They don't know how to use a calculator. And they don't know how to read a contract. And or they commit suicide or whatever they crash and burn, their fans become depressed. Because why? Because the fan thought the life that they say they were living, they were happy. Think about all these young men saying they're singing all these songs, and yet they're on all kind of drugs, mental health drugs, because they're depressed. Why are they depressed? As I've covered here before, they're depressed because they're singing about the lifestyle that made them depressed. But they're trying to make it sound happy. They're having post-traumatic stress disorder, yet they're singing to entertain you, to tell you that this life is the life. And yet they need to themselves escape from that life. Just think about that. And somebody go and buy the music and thinking, man, they're living a life, and be like, yeah, they live in a life and live in fear. They live depressed lives. They live a life where they're always looking over their back. And a lot of the time they die young. What's the point? That's no role model. That's nobody to look up to. So again, just think about that. Being entertained, being bedazzled by the fake will end only dwarf and cripple the mind. But the flip of that is that when you're being entertained, so to speak, and you're happy about something that is real, what makes the mind expand, because you're being prepared for true happiness in life. You're being prepared for true satisfaction. You can be satisfied with the real. Your brain will expand because you're partaking of stuff that is substance, that is real, that's not fake. If you eat something that is, somebody says, okay, here's a piece of lettuce. And I say, well, this is a romaine lettuce that's brought up into this world, so to speak, by a lot of chemicals. And it's just, it looks white and it looks like it's about to rotten. You take it and you eat it. You are going to fall apart. You don't have real food inside of you. And so you build up your body to be sick. And so it is with food. So it is also with knowledge that we take in. Because all knowledge. You're watching something, you're listening to something. It's all knowledge. But if it's knowledge about nothing, then your brain is going to get dwarfed. Because if it's not growing, it is shrinking. The brain does that. The muscle does that. And life does that. So you can see a person that a more secular person is, where they eat junk, they watch junk, they listen to junk. Their life is just shriveling up. And then they're complaining, but I'm dying. They're complaining, I'm depressed. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you a solution to your problem. Start to partake of things that's going to give you life. And you're going to find that your life is just going to be so much better. And you're going to find so much happiness because you're really knowing how to partake of information. And then you remember, wisdom is simply to partake of the information and figure out how to use those information and knowledge and everything that you have an understanding to make decisions. And when you make decisions, you're making decisions that will make you more successful and happier. And this is really why what your entertainment is supposed to not be fake. It's supposed to be on the real. Fake entertainers, again, most entertainers are fake because they have a persona. They're not that person. I've seen over the years so many entertainers come out and said they're depressed more and more, especially since of late. And I've done even old programs on that here. that come out and say they're depressed because they have to fake. They're basically, their whole career is to get up every day and fake that they're something that they're not. And just think about that, how terrible that is. That every day you have to come out and be a hypocrite. You're just an actor. And you're acting about something that you are not and never will be. You just daydream about it. But imagine now if you try to live in the real and be entertained with the real, and instead of doing that, you just simply come out and be real and learn to be yourself and learn to partake of information and knowledge that is real and not fake. How much better your life will be. It's a lot of waste of time. And all this to me goes back to education. But we normally see education as something you do when you're in school. But that's part of it also. You know, the more fake entertainment you do to a child in school is the more you waste their time. Imagine the child is graduating at 18, but the knowledge that they gain, they probably could have graduated at 12. Why waste all those times of all that time for the child? You give the child real things and the child will be ahead of the game. It's the same thing with life. I can show you a person that will practice the things I'm saying here this morning, and they will spend their time being entertained by the real. They interact with nature. They study nature. They have real relationships. They eat real food. They study the real gospel, not fake gospel and false doctrine. And you go down the list, as I'm still going down the list, and you'll find that at 20, they'll be doing better than probably somebody 50, 60, literally. Who spend their time, and literally, a person that spend their time just fake, 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 fake. Now they're 60 years on the earth. After they came out of their mother's womb, and after 60 years on the earth, the person at 20 will do better. Just 20 years on the earth. It's sad, but that's the truth. And that person at 60 is just a bumbling mess and depression. And that person at 20 would just be a solid, rock solid, very symmetrical character and a happy person. The more fake, the more the person is in everything fake, is the less they have, no substance. Notice here, artificial man-made surrounding. The more we are around artificial man-made surrounding, the more depressed. They have done studies and show that a person, that's a simple all a person have to do is even look at a picture of something natural and they feel happier. Just a picture, a picture is something that is a reproduction of nature. Photocopy, so to speak. And just looking at something natural makes one feel, it does something for the mind, because that's what God really created us, to be in a garden. And the more closer we get to that, is the happier we are. Just sitting there looking at a plant does something for us that all the rock and roll and rap and reggae will never do. Notice there, we want to be around more things that are natural. Even people policy and ideology and religion and philosophy changes based on the location. You find more artificial there around, more man-made, more urban, is the more just fake. The mind become accustomed to everything fake, and you find you have a problem with believing in God because they believe in what man can do. They have a sixth-day man-made religion, not a seventh-day religion. Fake beauty. So today, so many people are dependent upon fake beauty, fake implants, operations, fake nails, fake eyelash, fake paint on the face to make the face look clean and smooth and even in tone, fake hair. Learning more and more people with fake hair often even start just destroying the follicles that they already have, and they're losing even more. But natural beauty is absolutely beautiful. But if you can't accept natural beauty, and a person look at themselves and they can't just look natural and be happy, and they don't understand the benefit of, if you spend more time, instead of making all that effort to fake, and spend more time to try to learn how to take care of the skin, to take care of the body, to go exercise, to understand how the anatomy and physiology work, and put more time into understanding how to get the hair to grow, both from internal supplement and external applications, then life would be better. But when you're fake and you're fake, imagine you're looking at a TV because you spend so much time watching the TV and seeing all these fake people with pinched nose. Everybody has a nose job if they weren't born with their nose pinched. And all these people have this fake hair that has been burnt and frizzled and fried. And you're looking at that and you see that's your image and that's what you study every day. And you come away depressed because you're not faking. You didn't say, well, I'm going to fake my ear, fake my nails, fake my everything so I can look beautiful. After a while, the person starts looking more clownish. Then it doesn't push you no further. But if the person spend that same time and say, look, I'm not going to go after all that fakery. I'm going to try to learn natural product and natural ways of taking care of myself. Again, 10 years down the road, the person going to do much better. But it takes a readjustment of the mind. Take a readjustment of the mind. And when you start readjusting the mind, you start to realize, man, I can take care of my skin and I can look a little bit better. And then after a while, it's going to be a whole lot better. And you're going to be way ahead of the person that is there, that they can't come out of their house without sitting there for an hour or whatever, daubing on paint. Then that's not going to be it. So it's the same thing. Looking groomed, looking well-dressed, it's a good thing, taking care of the body with exercise and so forth. So when you focus on that, notice how the experience is real. And then we start watching all this entertainment and stuff and seeing all these fake people with all their fake breasts and fake buttocks and fake skin and fake nails and fake everything fake, and they act fake. And then after a while, you're not attracted to that fakeness. And it will be the same thing for a guy. Instead of always looking forward to walking around with a woman that look like a clown, you look interested. You like to have a woman that look natural. But if you're not watching all these fake people with those fake buttocks and stuff, then you're not attracted to the fake. The fake don't seem so attractive. And after a while, you dislike, as the psalmist says, that after a while they don't cling to you. But when you're younger, you're looking at magazines and you're looking at videos and you see everybody look fake, and you have a false idea of success, then you're impressed with fake people and they cling to you. But when you set none of those evil things before your eyes, it becomes less and less and less until it does not become a problem. And I can tell you, the years you spend away from, a person spend away from music video, they spend away from movies and stuff like that, fake people don't matter. And you see them more like a joke because it's clownish, it's cartoonish. But a person will hear this, and if they're used to that fake idea of beauty, then, it clings to you and it's attractive. Fake news is another thing too that becomes a problem when your mind is not being filled with things that are real. Then after a while, fake becomes the thing, and you fall for everything that is fake. You can't spot a fake story, even if it was labeled fake, because you tend to believe what is fake because you spend so much time listening to fake stuff. I realize a lot of time, again, it's the entertainment that people watch, because people watch news and think it's news. It's entertainment. These are fake people with all kind of, again, surgeries and stuff, and they have to act fake, and they're paid. They're bought and paid by corporations to bring you the news. And you're reading it, and you have to be able to read and study and learn, not from the Bible only, but from other books, and find out what is real and what's fake. And then when you hear them, you can hear when they're giving you information. You can hear when they're bending information to make you believe a certain narrative. Fake relationships, many people don't know what it is like to be part of true relationships. So when you learn to have relationships and connect with human beings, not with entertainment or drugs, but with real relationships, then you know what a real relationship is like. There's many people that their relationship is based upon cigarette or marijuana or alcohol or some other type of fake cartoon or magazine or whatever. Things that are fake, and so the connection and the relationships are based upon some fake reality. So if I'm into, comic books, and all my friends are comic book junkies. So if you remove the comic book, they're no longer my friends. So it's not I'm not connected with them in anything that's real and natural. I'm connected with my friends based upon comic books. or video games, which is fake entertainment. Again, so that's my friends. And so if you remove the video game, me and them, we have nothing in common, and we don't deal with anything that's real. And if you try to go to those people and say, hey, let's talk about real things in life, they'll be like, well, that's boring. Might as well I probably should say that's depressing. So this is how people life become depressed because again, everything that makes them happy is not real. They can't be happy without drugs, alcohol, fake entertainment, so forth. And they have no real relationships. They say it's family time. So what is family time? Can you sit and even talk? Family time can be anytime, spontaneous, when you have real relationships. But if family time is you have to put in a movie or download a movie or stream a movie, then when you're not streaming, do you have family time? Then that's a testimony if you have real relationships. Talk shows, all these fake talk shows with these fake people acting up, misbehaving, saying stuff. And these talk shows, thinking about even the talk shows that are regular daytime talk shows, just think about many of what we call news on your major network, whether it be a CNN, Fox News, NBC News, all these things. Most of that is not real. Most of that is basically semi-scripted garble for entertainment. You sit and watch that stuff, you make your mind become numb. It's just fake people always having a fake narrative and arguing from one point or the other, from a Democratic point or Republican point or a left point or right point, conservative, liberal. And, many times life is just not like that. None of us are truly conservative or truly liberal. If you're one or the other, you might probably lost your mind. Because very depending on this situation, we have different opinions. But people kind of put themselves in one group or the other and then argue everything from that point of view. And sometimes one could be right or one could be wrong, or both could be wrong or both could be right or whatever. One has to be careful of that. But when you don't feed on that, you can make your mind become stronger. And you become more real and you can deal with real life problem. And you become more authentic. Notice here, Gossip Magazine. The people who write that stuff and produce that stuff, their mind are mush. Just think about their mind is just so great in making up falsehood. False reports, again, minds are mush. Because in order for you to eat the false report and then disseminate it, you must have lost your mind. Slander, evolution. Think about a person, every time they look at something in the earth, they say billions and millions a year. Our brain can't even look back beyond 4, 5, 6,000 years. How are we going to talk about billions of years? We don't even know what that means. But yet these people talk about it. So imagine you're telling yourself every day, you go and looking for the mirror every morning. You get up and say, I evolve. I am the superior race. I'm part of the superior race. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. You're just fooling yourself. You're making a fool of yourself. And that's just nonsense. But yet there's people who wholeheartedly eat that because they want to tell themselves a lie every day. And yet life is telling them every day, you're not superior. You're not the greatest. You're just a human being like everybody. It's a sinner, worthless like everybody is, and in need of salvation. But this is what it does. Witchcraft is a similar idea. Witchcraft, I think, is what the old world. To me, evolution is almost like modern day witchcraft. It's some witch spinning some brew and telling you a bunch of nonsense, so that you believe in things that are not real again. And notice, everything I go over here that is fake tend to be nothing, just entertainment and amusement, and to waste our time, so that we can spend all the time consuming and being happy with things that is not going to do anything for us. Just think about that. It's not adding to us. It might make us seem, and we can be hypocrites and we can fake it, but it's not real. And there's real struggles, there's real problems that need to be dealt with that are not being dealt with. Because why? We are consuming, and then you look at the society, this is what's happening. I would say we, by God grace, not you and myself, but I know what this is like because I lived this life. And when you live this life, you could go a year and you might gain some knowledge, you might become better equipped for life, a little bit. But most of what you're partaking of is just stuff that's not doing anything for you. Because again, like if you look at witchcraft, it's not doing anything for a person. because they're not dealing in the real. Look at evolution again. They're not dealing in the real. They have a fake idea of how outcomes work. Survival of the fittest. Yeah, that's just if you go through life thinking survival of the fittest is a plausible theory, you're a fool. It's just mess you up for life. It make you make bad decisions and you make you live life. Just think about it. If you think, let's say you are the highest on the food chain, you become barbaric because you think in order for you to survive, you have to eat the weaker. You're a vicious monster. So these are principles that just mess you up. If you go through life and believe you're going to be the next entertainer, and that's the way. Imagine a person could probably be say an accountant, and they decide, oh no, I'm going to be an entertainer, so I can fake and talk about fake lifestyle, how I'm living large, I'm living big, I'm fake. And then you make a persona over fake. You sing about fake reality. And that's not life. Because they're not going to sing and say, oh yeah, you can be fake and sleep with all the young girls and pick up all the diseases and get baby mamas and have a miserable existence. Nobody sings about that per se. But if you live your life like that by those principles, you're filling your life with a lot of nothingness. As I say, just imagine a person living their life and they study and they make, get the best fake gospel, false doctrine, and they spend, as I say, 10 years studying that. At the end of the 10 years, what did they gain? Nothing. And that's what the devil does. And what it does, though, it goes beyond just neutrality of nothing. But what the brain does, the brain become dwarfed and confused. I talk to some people years later, even after they've given up the false doctrines and the false gospel and the slander and the false entertainment. Their mind are still mush. Because now they have to go rebuild that brain, and they're gonna have to learn to love the real. But it's so hard because they're so used to being entertained that it's hard for them to make that switch. Because they're just so used to this type of stuff. But it's possible. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 7 and 8, Philippians chapter 4, verse 7 and 8, it says, and the peace of God which passeth all understanding shall keep your hearts and mind through Christ Jesus. So we need power from on high. That's why we believe that we are in need of divine power. And God supplies. Because for a person to do all what I just said there, and literally there's people who do close to all of that. Every single day from they get up in the morning till they go to bed, it's just fake. That's what their life is. And now they decide to make a change. It's going to be a hard struggle. So God has to help that mind and give it peace. To start to look at nature and start to say, wow, I'm going to start loving nature. Notice, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. The person that does this, mind become broad. Their thinking becomes deep. Their grasp of reality and what life is going on becomes better or sharper. And their ability to live and be happy with the simple things of life becomes profound. Because all of a sudden, life has greater meaning and greater depth. But a person who doesn't do this and their mind doesn't think on what is honest or true or things that are just. Think about it. Everything that happened in the news, they confuse them because they don't know what is justice. They can't think of things that are pure because it bores them or it's just too much because righteousness repels them. Things that are lovely. As I say, why do we study nature? Why do we interact with nature? Because in nature there are things that are lovely. Things that are of good report. Something I want to say to you. I want to tell you something that is good report. Things that have virtue in it. There are some good in it. And things that are any praise. There's no praise in depressed people. I've never, as I say, I grew up listening to certain type of music. And when I look back, I can see why so many people are depressed and not prospering in their life and not moving forward in their life. Because you just sit and spend so much time filling your brain with nonsense and stupidity that you're not going to prosper. You're just going to be a fool forever. Because you just listen to foolish principles that never going to make you prosper. And these are the things that you can spend a lot of time listening to. As I say, you can become an expert. So somebody come to me and say, I know about, say somebody come to me and say they know Star Trek. And they know about it with all the characters, all the episodes. And they know it at the level that probably an accountant again knows accounting. You could look at it and say, bravo, wow. So you know it that level? Yeah. I probably know it level as a level of a surgeon. I can teach the actors things about Star Trek that they don't even know. Wow, really? And what it does for your life. You just pack your brain of nonsense, of things that have nothing to do with reality. That's not going to make the person a better father, a better husband. It's not going to make the person a better worker. It's not going to make the person a better nothing in life. And often, you have someone like this, they unless you have another person who is fill up their head of nonsense like that. Sorry. So unless you have another person that's filled their mind with all that craziness or nothingness, it's not even nonsense. I'll just say it's nothingness. It's information. If you don't know it, doesn't affect you for good or bad. You just don't. It would only affect you for bad, but it don't do anything for you if you don't know. If you've never watched a Star Trek movie, just think about this. And you know nothing about, even if I said the word Star Trek, you don't know what that is. It doesn't do anything for your life. It doesn't take anything from your life. But if you understand the benefits of, say, apples, what it does for you when you eat it, and how it affects your body, it does something for your life. That adds benefit to your life. If you understand what herbal remedies and what natural food will make your pancreas stronger and work better, that add value to your life. If you understand what plants, finch, the bird, are attracted to, and what do they eat, and what trees do they like to nest in, that will add value to life. If you know that, actually give me a call or contact me. I'd like to know, because I like to plant some of those trees in my yard. But if you know that just had value to your life. But knowing all this stuff, what artists and what they sing and what movie they act in. If you never knew that information, it only takes value out of your life, because you're filling your brain space with a lot of nonsense. And that's all it is. It's just nonsense. Just silliness that somebody tells you that you need to think on. And this is important. You meet a person and know all the baseball stats. It doesn't add to their life. It just remove value from their life. But if they never knew that information, it doesn't, nothing change. As a matter of fact, they're better for it. Because their brain now can be used to do something else. See, what they say, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And that's the sad reality, that many people waste it on this type of stuff, and it doesn't make them better. You show me a person who want to be happier, and I think I'm going to tell them, number one, you need to remove this evil from your life, fakeness, everything fake. And then you need to add these good things to your life. Start to study some things, start to learn, start to enjoy going for a hike, start to enjoy learning why you're hiking, make it become educational, start learning what the trees are that you're walking past. And all of a sudden you're going to find that there's abundance and depth of knowledge and wisdom and happiness in nature that God created us for. And you can be so happy with that. Because remember, Adam and Eve, happiness. Think about it, we're going to heaven, and why are we going to heaven? To get back to that garden. But yet, we could start getting back there right now. Because for eternity, what we'll be studying is the gospel, not false doctrines, as some people wrongly do. Not about, we're not, it's important to know, but we're not going to spend eternity studying about the Pope or studying about some other Morpheus group some other evil group, it's important to know what they're doing to a certain degree, but that's not the focus of the Bible. The focus of the Bible is the gospel. If anything, as I say, if you never learned evil and never learned what evil is and what falsehood is, and all you had learned is what truth is, you're benefited for it. Every time you have to study evil, it's like, to me, it's just shocking and depressing stuff that is still worth knowing to a certain degree, I guess, because we're in the world and we might not have to be part of the world, but we need to have a knowledge of what's going on so we can be awake to many times the subtlety and the tricks, the old tricks, so we can recognize the new tricks. But the way to really, as they say, know a counterfeit or to catch a counterfeit is to learn the true. You have to study the true very much. You have to know the nuances and the peculiarities of the true, so that when you see the counterfeit, you say, that's a fake. I know it. I know the true. I know how it feels. I know it smells. I know it looks. I know it, so forth and so on. And then you say, okay, I know the true, the real from it. You got to study more. And so when we go for eternity, what we'll be studying? We'll be studying the gospel. We'll be studying nature, because nature is the handiwork of the author and finisher of our faith. So this is where you want to be. And when you start to get there, the more you get there, the more you find that, I'm so much happier this way. Wow. Why somebody didn't tell me this before? But you want to be there. And this is where we want to be. So be entertained and bedazzled by what is real. Just think about a person that spent all this time, say the last 10 years, trying to figure out how to naturally look beautiful and healthy. Male and female. When I talk this, I'm not talking this just for female. Because sometimes there's some guys that look just like, just look horrible. Just beating themselves up. Male and female, how to physically take care of your body and to feel healthier, look healthier, feel better in your mood, your mind. How to naturally take care of your skin, naturally take care of your muscle. Okay, and you spend 10 years doing it, and a person spent 10 years watching daytime TV and eating fake supplement, all the whey supplement and all this different protein supplements and taking all these fake chemicals and stuff like that. 10 years later, who's ahead? And that's important for you to know. So the natural is always what we want to get to, because the natural is getting back to God. The real is getting us back to God. The truth is, it's the truth that set us free. We're not set free because, as I say, somebody give us civil rights, because they think they do us a favor. No, that's not what set you free. It's learning. It's the real. Remember, people can give you all what they want to give you, but if they keep you dunce and keep you entertained, then you're stuck. This is why many times in many communities, like in the black communities, they can't move forward. Because why? Because you could get all the rights you want to get per se. Ain't nobody don't give me rights. But the right that you really need, that makes a man and a woman, is education, is how you educate yourself. And as I say, if you're studying falsehood, whether it be theoretical or whatever, secular education or religious education, if you're studying falsehood through music and movies and stuff like that, and just fake, your whole life of fake, you'll never move forward. You'll never be truly successful, because there's too much fakeness in your mind. And so when you're faced with real problems, you have no answer for it, because you have a fake answer in your head. And you have a false entertainment idea. You have a false outcome. See, entertainment is false outcome. Truth is telling you true outcome. When you study the Bible, you get a true outcome. Matthew 6 verse 21 through 23 says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eyes be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee is darkness, how great is that darkness? So the sun could be shining, you could be in darkness. Can't see your way out, can't fight your way to a paper bag. Why? Because there's no solution inside. But when you study what is true and be entertained by what is true and interact with what is real and use what is real and eat what is real and, listen to truth, and truth will set you free. And you will have light so you can see and not darkness. But Christ said, imagine if the darkness is in you, not outside, but it's in you. How great is that darkness? Why? Because it could be daylight and the thing is right in front of you, you still can't see it because you're in darkness. Because the darkness is not what's outside, it's what's in you. Christ says that darkness is great. And we don't want to be in great darkness. And so many people find themselves in great darkness. And if you think about it, the gospel is simply a seed that goes inside of us and it grows. But that seed has to be nourished. That seed has to be put in good soil. A person that spend hours every day watching fake movies is not putting that seed in good soil. So the gospel is not going to have any nourishment to grow, because it's not going to be able to put for it because it's a terrible soil. It's not growing that way. If the gospel has thorns and thistles around it, it will not grow. Because, again, the thorns and thistles will choke it. That's the cares of this life. That's the pleasures of this life. What is your pleasure? What makes you happy? What makes you happy? If that's the stuff that, whatever makes you happy is dwarfing you and making you less, you will never grow. But if you can be entertained by looking at, say, a koala bear or a lion, and you're moving in the right direction. If that makes you happy, looking at a tiger, you're simply looking at the tiger, don't interact with it, then that's you're doing better for life, because now your brain is starting to go back to where God had created us. God had created us to basically interact and look at the lion and the tigers and the chipmunks and the squirrels and all that stuff and be happy. And you're happy looking at it and even start laughing. And someone said, why are you laughing? I don't know. I'm just looking at the squirrel running around and laughing. I don't understand why. And you know, they probably think you're going crazy. And hopefully you're not. But then, you know, that's when you're moving in the right direction. While another person needs somebody, probably some shooting game. I show a movie with some shooting, or some movie with somebody doing something like almost they're raping somebody. And that's what makes them happy. And you say, no, you're not happy, you're sick. You need help, you need therapy. You don't want to go in that direction. And so you want to know that the light is going to do is what's going to set you free. And so the Bible tells us that we need to walk in the narrow path. We need to beware of false prophets, because again, that's wasting your time. Why? Well, you're going to listen to somebody that's preaching falsehood because it makes you feel good. It's just burning time. But you're not just burning time, you're burning your brain cells. I've ever watched, like, I've been on YouTube before and I saw a video and the title is right, the caption is right. I click it and it didn't deliver what they told me they were going to deliver. So they said they were going to give me some information about something. And I said, oh, I'd like to know about that. I click it, I watch the video and say 5 minutes. And I watched the video 5 minutes and said, man, they lied. And I noticed in the like and dislike section, there's a lot of dislike, people upset because they didn't deliver what they said they were going to deliver. And then I come down to the comment section, and the top rated comment was that somebody say, I just wasted 5 minutes of my life and I can't get it back. And I would just laugh hilariously, because I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, man, these people just burned 5 minutes of my time and I can't get it back now. And, this is life. But imagine that's 5 minutes. You could spend your life purposely, because as I say, those times it happened to me, I'm expecting some knowledge and I didn't get it. And I felt like the person really didn't give me the information they said they were going to give me. And I felt like, wow, I burned 5 minutes. Just imagine a person can do that, 5 times 100 every day. 5 hours of their life just burn, wasting time about nothing that's going to enlarge their thinking and make them truly happy. And they do that every day for the next 10 years. And you talk to them and they sound like, man, you sound just confused and depressed. Why? Because for the last 10 years, they've been just frying their brain cells, just burning brain cells, doing nothing, and just the brain cells never going to come back. Lost forever. So I'll read to close here. It says here in Ephesians 3, verse 14 through 19, for this cause I bow my knees unto the Father for Lord Jesus Christ, of whom the whole family in heaven and earth is named, that he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to strengthen with might by his Spirit the inner man, that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye, being rooted and grounded in love, may be able to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and depth and height, and to know the love of Christ which passeth knowledge, that ye might be filled with all the fullness of God. The more we like Christ, the more we reflect our Father that which art in heaven, it's just the more blessed we are, and the more happy we are, and the more successful, You want to be truly successful. You want to be the best that you can be. Don't waste your time on foolish and fake things. Get in the real, study the real, interact with the real, eat the real, be real. Don't be fake and hypocritical. And you'll find, man, every year you just get better and better, and your mind become broader, and you're just gonna shine like your Father which art in heaven. Let's pray. Thank you, Lord, again for your love towards us and the blessings, dear Father, of what you do for us from day to day. I pray, dear Lord, that we might truly receive the way that you want us to receive life, and that we might be like thee. This is our prayer in Jesus' name, amen. Thanks for being with me on Revive Form Radio. Looking forward to talking to you tomorrow morning, where we should talk about the importance of church. Until then, I pray that you may continue to walk with the King.